This video is on electrolysis. Basically, we're going to look at um, three things today. We're going to look at what electrolysis or electrolysis, whatever however you want to pronounce it, and which substances can be extracted by this process. Okay, so we're just looking at two outcomes today. So as you can understand from the word, electro means use of electricity to separate, you know, metals, non-metals, all those compounds. You can use electricity charges. And how this happens, we'll look at this process now. Okay, so what is electrolysis? Electrolysis. Electrolysis, like electro, made up of two words, electricity, lysis, breaking down. So using electricity to break down things. Okay, so keywords we're going to look at are electrolysis, electrode, ion, solution, electrolyte, half equations, oxidation, reduction, reduced, and oxidized. I want you to copy this in your book, please. This is very important. So electrolysis means using electricity to break down something. So what it breaks down, we will look at now. Okay, so electrolysis, I want you to copy this down. Electrolysis is a process where ionic substances, which are either molten means melted, or in an aqueous solution, that means water, using water, are split apart using large amounts of electricity. The substance that is broken down is called the electrolyte. So basically, to summarize this, using of electricity to break down different substances. Okay, so whether they are molten or aqueous in water, okay, you use electricity to break them down, and the substance that is broken down is called the electrolyte. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick video which I want you to watch. The link is here, so you can use that link. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see the video. Okay. Right. So basically, that's summarized in a way how electrolysis takes place. Let me go back on the lesson now. So let me go back to the previous slide first. See if I can go back. Please let me. Oh. So first question is, describe the behavior. I can go back now. So the good. So electrolysis is a process where ionic substances, which are either molten or in aqueous solution, are split. So you can see these copper wires. So copper wires, electricity flows through these wires. And if you have, for example, sodium chloride, and if sodium is positive, that will go towards the negative, okay, because opposites attract. Chlorine, which is negative, will go towards the positive. Copper is electrode which causes the current. Okay, you need copper there. So this is basically, so we are going to separate sodium and chlorine here. So the first question is, I want you to do this question in your book, 9 questions. Describe the behavior of the sodium and chloride ions when table salt is heated to high temperature and turns molten. So the answer is, once the sodium chloride compound has become molten, the sodium ions and chloride ions will dissociate, will become separate from each other, and are now free to move around. So they will separate out, and they are free to move out. Positive ions, this was in the video, are called, can anybody remember? Positive ions? Positive ions are called cations. Okay, so negative ions are called, can anybody remember? Anions. Okay, right? Positive are cations, negatives are anion. So what is current? Current is a flow of charge, a charge which goes through is a current. Okay, so any positively charged ions are attracted to what do you think they are attracted to? Will they be attracted to opposite? Attracted to the opposite? Okay, so you need to look at this. Okay, leave the last 3 questions about the structure of electrode, name of the positive electrode. We'll come back to that later on. The main thing which I wanted to understand is, okay, so you have this 2 beakers. Okay, you have copper, okay, and you get your electric current to go through. And if you have sodium chloride, okay, sodium which is positive will go towards the negative bit, negative charge, negative component, and chlorine will go to the positive. And this way they will be dissociated, or they will be separated out. Okay, so this is what happens. So during electrolysis, see if you can have a go at this question, please. Okay, write this in your book. Okay, and see if you can have a go at doing this. I'll give you a couple of 2-3 minutes to have a go at this, please. Yeah. Cheers. Okay. Make sure you write them down, please. So during electrolysis, what happens? Positively charged ions, positively charged ions move towards the negative electrode, and the negatively charged ions move to the positive. So at the negative electrode, positively charged ions gain. You need to remember this. They gain electrons, okay, and uh, gains electrons. This basically is reduction. And at the positive electrode, negatively charged ions lose electrons. So these are the key words you need to remember. So during electrolysis, positively charged ions move towards the negative electrode. Negatively charged ions move to the positive electrode. At the negative electrode, positively charged ions will gain electron, and this is called reduction. I know it doesn't sound, but this is reduction. And at the positive electrode, negatively charged ions lose electrons, and this is called oxidation. Okay, so I just want you to remember this bit. So what I want you to do is, so summary of this process, part one of electrolysis is, so you can imagine a copper wire being in a beaker. Okay, if you put sodium chloride, sodium which is positive will go towards the negative part, chlorine will go towards the positive. Okay, and positive ions are called cations, negative ions are called anions. Okay, and during electrolysis, positively charged ions move to the negative electrode, a negatively charged ion is moved to the positive electrode. Okay, that's what you need to remember. I would advise you to watch this video, okay, which is here as well, just to make sure you understood this part. So that was electrolysis part 1 of the process. So electrolysis is using electricity to break down. So in the next part, I'm going to upload part 2 of this.